Hello friends, and welcome to week 5 of the PPL. Once again, no overlay because it's on Showdown, and I'm lazy. We are up against RTK, or rather, we're up against RTK's replacement, DJAR. RTK and I had a lot of trouble scheduling, which was surprising because we're both American. But, yeah, this game is something. Things he left at home that I was kind of surprised by, I don't actually remember. He had a sand option, which was kind of annoying. But this was more or less what I expected from him. Whoops, that was my mouse. Let me just go over what I have. We have a Spiderweb Toxic, Leech Life, Liquidation, Buginium Z, Araquanid. This was to break his regen core and just his mons in general. He didn't have great answers to this period, and Spiderweb helped me beat things like Tangrowth and Slowking just by trapping them. Just general bulk and speed. Gligar is Eviolite with Rocks, U-Turn, Earthquake, Roost, and it is my check to drill to then allow Baby Eel and Comfy to sort of clean up the game, which I will get to later. Nidoqueen is T-Spikes with Shuka, offensive, enough bulk for random stuff. Eel is a god set. It's Rest Talk knockoff Aquatail, and it kinda 6-0s him. Once the drill is gone or weakened, I could Aquatail the Infernape to bring it low. I think it does like 60 minimum or something, and I'm not even invested. This was Coil, but I opted into knockoff instead, so that's cool. We have Pixie Plate Comfy with modest, almost max special attack, Taunt, Defog, Calm Mind, Draining Kiss, and E-Belt Serp with Double Grass, Dragon Pulse, HP Flying to hit the Tangrowth and the Infernape, because I didn't really need anything else. I don't remember what the rest of his team is, but it wasn't super important because these were the mons I expected. Let's just jump into it. So he leads with Latios, as I lead with Araquanid. I figured I had a good matchup against everything. I just go for a very safe Leech Life. I could have Toxic, I didn't really feel like it. I Leech Life again because Buginium was a roll, and I thought he'd switch. So, I figured I should have sort of expected him to switch out here and made a different play, and I could have Toxicked. Oh, I do! Oh god, I'm amazing at this game, holy shit. And I Spiderweb. That was a misplay I made, because he had no reason, like, not staying in and clicking Wish, but my problem was I didn't want him wishing and passing into something. Like, he could have passed into Araquanid or anything really, and it would have just been really annoying for me. So, hindsight, I should have liquidation there, but I end up spiderwebbing. Oh, you can see my mouse. That's unfortunate. As I liquidation here, I also thought he'd be Fizdef and take 50, so I wanted to trap him. But I don't know if he was like offensive or what kind of set he was, but he was doing a lot with that Moonblast. And liquidation was doing like 80%, which is nuts. And I really wish I played that better, because now I'm in Rocks range, and I was not a fan of being in Rocks range. As the liquidation kills, I have to switch out here. I go into my Comfy as I take this Psychic. It is a Spec Psychic, and that is terrifying. I don't have U-Turn on this set, unfortunately, but I'm going to Draining Kiss, and that does a clean 17%, which tells me it's kind of offensive, which is weird because it's offensive leftovers. And he goes back into Lottie. As I click Stealth Rock, I go into my Baby Eel knowing I could take literally anything from that Latios. As he Ice Beams for 20, I click Knockoff, and I get a crit. Doesn't matter because he's at 50%, and he could just freely spin, as he does. And here he goes into his Tangrowth as I set up my own rocks again, and I U-turn out. I get a crit. That doesn't matter because of his Regenerator, as he knocks off my Shoka Berry. Here, knowing that the Slow King is going to probably come in, I'm going to set up T-Spikes to force in the Glider, and I'm going to go into my baby eel. And this is kind of huge, because as you can see, I come in on the Scald, and I figured, alright, that'll put me at about 35, right? Yeah, it'll put me at 35, and the switch into eel is super easy because he saw knockoff, he sees it's a baby eel, so he likely believes it has electric coverage, or I can go for a rest, or I can go for a toxic or something, and it's a really easy switch into either to his Excadrill to get a spin off. And I calced it, a burned Aqua Tail does not kill Excadrill after rocks. If I was not burned, that was the easiest Aqua Tail of my life. I would have clicked it because Infernape couldn't come in on this because it would die to Aqua Tail, rocks, T-Spikes, and own Flare Blitz recoil. I outsped the Slowking, I outsped the Tangrowth so I could just rest next turn, and the Latios was not going to come in on this baby eel. I didn't see a reason for it to come in on the baby eel when I could have just knocked off or Toxic again. So the only play he could have made was Drill, but because I'm burned and I can't kill, I can't go for Aqua Tail, and I figured I'd take this turn to rest instead. So that burn is fucking huge, and it really upset me. But because this Drill turns out to be a really big nuisance to my team because it's the only thing stopping my Comfy. I stay in because I know he's not going to click Earthquake, and I hope to roll for an Aqua Tail to kill him. I unfortunately do not get it, as now I go into my Glider, and I clicked Earthquake here. And because he switched out last time, and I just wanted to catch his, like, I figured he'd make like an aggressive play like that, like he'd stay in and an Iron Head and try and go for a flinch, and I wanted to punish that. I Earthquaked expecting like either the Slowking to come in, the mostly the Infernape or the Drill staying in. I didn't think he'd switch out. I figured he'd like stay in and make some sort of play. I really didn't. I didn't expect. I figured he'd make an aggressive play, I guess is what I'm trying to say, and I get flinched, so ultimately that doesn't matter. But killing this Drill would have been great, and that's why I did that. Like, because I made an aggressive play on him and stayed in on the Drill. I figured he'd make an aggressive play on me and stay in on the Glider, so I tried to punish him for that. And I do not get rewarded. I roost up as the tank comes in. Now he goes to Infernape as I U-turn, and that's a little annoying because now I have to go to my eel. I do wake up this turn, I believe. No, I sleep talk, and I missed the Aqua Tail, which would have put him in range of things. It would have put him low enough that like this next hit or two would kill. It wouldn't flat out kill the Infernape, but it would put him low, and that's super nice. Now I ran the calcs. He would need a max roll. I think there's 2 out of the 16 number rolls that he can get that kills me with the Focus Blast. Maybe even 1. I'm not 100% sure. I believe max roll was like 46%. So it might have been like 2 numbers he could have gotten out of the 16. But he fires the Focus Blast. He hits the less accurate move. He gets the max roll and he kills my eel, as I could have went for a rest that turn because I was waking up that turn. I revenge crit him with the Sludge Wave, doesn't matter because he's a Slowking. I only crit his regen mons. He reads me with the Flamethrower, so good play on him. And I Giga Drain to pull myself out of Flamethrower range. And I do just that. I could have made the read and pulsed here, but I'm a bitch. And I decided to sack off my Spider because I couldn't really find a good opportunity for me to defog away the hazards. I'm just going to click Draining Kiss here, as the Drill could have been brought down low enough, and if I made a good aggressive play I could have. He has a hard time going into Drill on my Comfy because it just pulls in my Glider every time, and sure, he can make an aggressive double, but if he makes an aggressive double and I don't, then he's kind of punished, and I could have HP ground. He doesn't know my set, and here based on the damage, I figure he's like Assault Vest, like just based on all the other damages. And so I realized, well, he can't kill me because it just doesn't seem like he can kill me. I forget if I saw that he had Psychic instead of Psyshock, but I know that based on that Draining Kiss damage, I can Calm Mind in his face. And if I get like 2 Calm Minds here, I just win because everything's kind of in range. The drill's low. Oh yeah, the drill's kind of low, so after a Calm Mind or 2, he can't answer me. Like he would have to go into the drill or sack his Slowking, and either way that's good for me. But I go for a Calm Mind here and kind of just go for game. And what happens instead is he crits me through my +1, which would have done nothing. So I have to Draining Kiss here, and then he burns me on this one, meaning that Comfy no longer has a great opportunity to win because it's just put down so low. It's at 6%. I have to Draining Kiss here in order to get out of range. I managed to luckily crit to make up for it, but I think 2 Draining Kisses were a roll anyway, just based on that damage. As he goes into the Tangrowth, I can't really stay in because P-Jab, or Sludge Bomb I should say, but he ends up being P-Jab. So good for me. I go for a Sludge Wave here as it does 24. I know he's going to switch out, but I don't really have a great play. I hoped to get like a high roll on this, as I instead sack off my Serp because I don't really need it anymore because the Infernape is mostly because the Infernape probably has priority. I go into my Comfy, I Draining Kiss, I switch back out into my Queen as he knocks off. I didn't want to lose my Pixie Plate or take a P-Jab. I Sludge Wave, and that's lovely. I Sludge Wave again, hoping for a crit or like a high roll, but I get 2 of the exact same rolls. Go into Glider. I U-turn here as I go into my Comfy. And basically at this point, the game is pretty much lost. He just clicks P-Jab and he wins. And it's just really frustrating. Just the amount of like complete, like so many of those turns that I just got completely dicked on just mattered so much. And it's frustrating. So I Draining Kiss because I'm like, well, I'm dead anyway, maybe. And he misses a Power Whip. And I'm like, wait a second. I could just drain again. I end up critting, which full heals me. I would have lived regardless, maybe? I don't know. But here I go for a Calm Mind knowing that he's going to switch out. And now we're kind of in business because I'm going to Draining Kiss the Slowking as he scalds me. It doesn't, as long as he doesn't crit, I'm fine. I have to Draining Kiss again to prevent that from happening. And here, I go into my Gligar, expecting him, and he Flamethrowers. He does 48, and he burns me. And this is annoying, because this is kind of a 50-50 play, because if he lets me go into Comfy again, I don't know. No, I didn't want him, because he could have gone into Tangrowth if I clicked U-turn. And then if I went Tangrowth as he clicked U-turn, then he would pretty much be in a checkmate. I don't... See, this play is weird, because I just mindlessly click EQ because I figure he's just going to Flamethrower me and win. But instead, he chokes, sort of. You'll see here. He could have just gone for Flamethrower, killed me, and then I'm out of... He just Flamethrowers again, and he kills my Comfy. So what happens is, instead, he hard switches out into Latios as I Earthquake. If I U-turned here, I won the game. Despite all the other hacks, if I U-turned there, expecting him to, for some reason, switch out into the one thing, making the one play that can lose him the game, if I expected him to do that, I could have won the game. So, instead, I lose my Gligar, in comes the Comfy, I Draining Kiss this back up to 30%. I kill the Tangrowth. And if I was able to get a +1 boost somewhere, for example, if I U-turned on the Lottie, and then, here's what could have happened. I could have U-turned on the Lottie, I would go into Comfy Comfy would Draining Kiss the Lottie, the Infernape would come in, I would go into my Gligar, and it would take enough damage to potentially be put in range of the Draining Kiss, and then from there I could have maybe won. That was my plan of action that I could have done. Yeah, just a lot of bullshit this game, and GG to Jar regardless, but it's just really frustrating because that's the second time I've brought Baby Eel, and the second time it could have done a lot, but this time instead of my misplaying, it was just Showdown not wanting me to win, and that's really annoying when Showdown does that. So anyway, I will catch you guys for week 6 of the PPL. I forget who I'm up to. Oh, I'm against Hera. That should be a great game. So I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.